This is Deborah Johnson with Blaming Others, Part 3, Other Solutions to Get Unstuck. In Part 1 of Blaming Others, you identified the why of blaming others. In Part 2, you faced your personal responsibility. And now, here, in Part 3, we'll discover a couple of additional solutions. As we briefly spoke of in the last session, the consequences of living with great guilt, shame, and anxiety are many times greater than the admission of fault, especially for an ethical situation. Trust and ethics are a huge issue in our society today. Political campaigns slam each other on the issue of promises and trust. How often have you heard a candidate really apologize for unfulfilled promises or wrongdoing? I would suppose never, or at least not often. There's usually a search for a scapegoat, whether or not it is the opposing candidate, party, or a person. Even though some make leaders out to be dictators with varied symbols, characters, and phrases, most leaders have a target on their back, as they sometimes have to make tough decisions. To be a true leader is to understand mistakes and learn from them, taking responsibility. It's also important to know what your team and those around you are doing. There is truly a time for blaming others when others are to blame. But why is this? The attitude of being a martyr or a victim is extremely self-focused and seems to be quite prevalent in our society. And when you look to help others grow, taking responsibility for your own actions, you will find their growth will inspire future growth, even in your whole team. Make sure you go back to the videos on giving feedback, especially if you're unsure how to approach a sensitive subject. As a leader, it is your responsibility to give constructive feedback, and if others need to take the blame, let them work through their own issues to accept the blame and learn from the situation, and not accept the victim mentality. In closing, define one situation in your life where you could apply that self-leadership principle now, and I look forward to hearing of your progress. This is Deborah Johnson, helping you get unstuck, and the creator of Your Own Life.